So ingredients for the bread, the Persian bread, Barbari, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. The sugar could be less, that's fine. And I start the timer here. Basically it's a clock from 12, just for tracking the time that how much each step will take. So first I will add the yeast to the water is a bit warm, it's about 35 degrees. So I add the yeast to the water, and I add sugar to the yeast and water, and I just mix it a bit. And add the salt to the flour and just mix the salt for 10 seconds. So we have to wait for the yeast to be activated. It will take about 10-15 minutes. So we will be back in 10-15 minutes. So 15 minutes passed and the yeast is almost ready. If you look at it, it's kind of bubbly and it smells like sour a bit. So what I will do, I will mix the water and yeast to the flour. And we'll mix it a bit. So now it's the time to use your hands for the mixing. So we will mix it for maybe 2 minutes or till the flour and water they mix completely. So if you see that the dough is a bit hard, you can wet your hand, maybe 2-3 times, and continue mixing the dough. So now we have to wait for the dough to grow to double its size. It will take 45 minutes to 1 hour. So I will be back in 45 minutes. So 1 hour is passed and the dough is double in size. So what I have to do, I have to take it out. I'll mix it a bit, not much. And I will cut the dough in half. I will put my surface a bit of flour. So I have to now cover the dough with plastic wrap. For maybe 15 more minutes. So now, while the dough is getting ready, I have to make the glazing cream for top of the bread. So I need half a cup of cold water and maybe 1 teaspoon of flour, and I mix it with the water. And when it mixes completely, I will put it on the heat till it gets to the boiling temperature. Okay. I will keep mixing the flour and the water. So it just start to boil, and I will turn it off and let it cool. So the dough is almost ready. What we need here is some corn flour. If you don't have it, you can use the regular flour, but corn flour is a bit better for the under the bread to make it not to stick to the surface that we are going to cook the bread. So I put some corn flour in the area that I'm working. Put some corn flour on my cooking surface. And meanwhile, I set my oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's warming up. So what we do have to do at this step is we have to take the dough and we make it a bit like this shape. I'm doing that on the corn flour, so doing that with the second one too. And the glazing cream that I made should be ready. Bring it here. And I have to put it on top of the dough. So I'm putting here and start brushing the glazing cream on top of the dough. It will make the bread shiny when it comes out of the oven. Okay, now what I will do, I will start putting my finger on the like a line and push here in the bread till my finger they touch the ground. So I do this and do this, and I do again another line. Don't worry, your finger will touch the surface and you will see some holes. That's fine. So the side next step is to add something on top of the bread, and I will use sesame seed. So you can use the black one or white one. I have the white, so I will use the white. So I have my white sesame. I will put sesame on top of the bread. So we are done with the sesame, and now what time is it? Okay, 1:44. I'm waiting for the oven to warm up, and then I can spread my dough on the cooking surface and put them in the oven. So now my oven is hot, and it's the time to do the hardest part of the work. So what I have to do here, I have to pick up the bread, pick up the dough, and you see, very slowly I have to hold it in my hand and wait it for the bread to gravity help me and the length of the bread to increase. So you see the length of the bread is growing. Thank you, gravity. Don't worry, the bread will not fall apart, hopefully. And should be ready to put it here. So next step is to put the dough in the oven and wait for it to be golden. So 2:15 and the bread is ready. And here is the Persian famous Barbari bread.